Good afternoon. If I could start, I would first, before I make any remarks on why we're here today, we are honored. Senator Mastriano brought a veteran of World War II who was in about every major European campaign from Normandy all the way through, and he brought him on the Senate floor, and he's with us here today, and I thought it appropriate to recognize Mr. Lawrence Dolan. Thank you so much for your service. Our nation's indebted to you. Just about a year ago, last fall, I suppose, I had the opportunity to speak at the Farm Bureau lunch. And at that lunch time, is when all the legislators come and meet with the Farm Bureau and have a nice lunch. And that was really at the height of the dairy crisis at that point in time, about the lower prices of dairy and the difficulties of dairy farmers and to be able to survive business-wise in Pennsylvania. And so I laid out a challenge. I laid out a challenge to myself, I laid out a challenge to my colleagues, laid out a challenge to the governor, that we had to step up and do more, that we were not doing enough for agriculture. We all say we're all for agriculture, farmers are our friends, but what were we really doing to help agriculture? And everyone has stepped up. The governor with his Pennsylvania Farm Bill, the legislature with Farmers First legislation. We are, by the end of this week, going to have passed 13 pieces of legislation dealing with agriculture and trying to improve the way agriculture can operate here in Pennsylvania so they can be more profitable. You know, you may not know this, but agriculture is not supposed to be a nonprofit agency. All right? I mean, they're businesses, and it comes down to supply and demand, and it comes down to revenue in and bills out, and just like any other business. And if we want agriculture to survive, which I believe is a national security issue, if we get ourselves to a point where we cannot produce the goods to sustain ourselves, then we are in trouble. And Pennsylvania, with its long history of agriculture being its #1 industry, we need to take the lead and step up. And I just want to thank all the members of the General Assembly, my friends in the House, colleagues in the Senate, Republican and Democrat, for stepping up in a bipartisan way and getting all these pieces of legislation through. With that, let me introduce my colleague who did all the work in the House, Representative Brian Cutler.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. Very kind of you, but not necessarily true. I'll be introducing the person who did all the work in the House, and that's Chairman Cowser. For many of us, we learned the value of working on a farm and what kind of hard work that is, myself included. I worked part-time on a dairy farm all through high school. And our farmers are the backbone of our Commonwealth and our #1 industry. But for far too long, our farms and the farmers who work there haven't been given the kind of priorities that they deserve in our state budget until now. We've taken for granted what a farmer's hard work actually means in all of our lives. We've just assumed that, and we communicate in many ways, that farmers will always be there. They're working, they're harvesting, they're feeding all of us each and every day. That's why our chamber and our colleagues in the Senate, we focused on budget priorities on a few key ideas. Those ideas were centered around smart investment. There's no better long-term investment for Pennsylvania's economy than our Pennsylvanian farmers. We've got a whole host of great programs that we all cherish and we all enjoy, and we enjoy the fruits of their labor. But I think that we're all very overdue in showing our appreciation for the hard work that they do each and every day. It's an investment in our future, it's an investment in our farmers and hardworking Pennsylvanians. So I look forward to Governor Wolf signing all these bills into law. I look forward to working with our colleagues. And with that, I will turn it over to the person who did most of the hard work here in the House, my friend and colleague, Chairman Cowser, who organized this, did the hearings, did the legislation, and want to give a big thank you to him and his staff as they worked with his counterpart in the Senate, who will be introduced later. So, Marty, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian. It is truly a great day for Pennsylvania agriculture. Working together, the House, the Senate, the governor's office, Republicans, Democrats, we are doing things that really will benefit Pennsylvania agriculture for years to come. You know, investing in agriculture means investing in small business. It means investing in our workforce. and it means investing in future generations of farmers. There are many components to the 13 bills that Senator Corman mentioned, and I want to mention just a couple of them because I think that they're vitally important. The Rapid Response Disaster Readiness Account that we've created. This account's going to help us protect the industry and protect our food supply from the threat of disease and invasive species. The appropriations that we've included in the budget for the Animal Health and Diagnostic Commission, and also for the Livestock and Consumer Health Protection line. You know, these are things that involve animal health, and that's got to be our number one priority, protecting our food supply. And that is a focus in this budget. So, you know, as chair of the House Agriculture Committee, I want to thank everyone for coming together, thank the House and the Senate leadership, thank my co-chairs in both the House and the Senate on the Agriculture and Rural Affairs Committees for all their work, and a special thanks to the committee members of the Agriculture Committees and our staff for all their hard work. And again, I do say that this is a great day for Pennsylvania agriculture. So thank you all very much. And now I want to introduce a great friend, Senator Elder Vogel, the chair of the Senate Agriculture and Rural Affairs Committee.
Thank you, Marty, and thank everyone. I also need to give a big thanks to leadership, Senator Corman, Senator Sconaughey, and Senator Brown, the House leadership, like Marty just mentioned, both the House and the Senate, the Ag committees, and all the members who sponsored and co-sponsored these bills and voted on all these bills in this agricultural package that we have together today. We have made unprecedented success in the last couple of months on a bicameral initiative to put agriculture and farmers first. Taking on these projects was just the beginning of these issues. Agriculture is number one in the state, and these bills will surely help farmers throughout the Commonwealth maintain our number one status. Some of these bills have been passed with overwhelming support in both the House and the Senate, and I'm just going to mention off a couple of these bills quickly. Senator Corman's bill, Senate Bill 585, which established the Dairy Future Program, which was the money we gave to the dairy farmers for new implementation of programs and facilities on their farms. Senator Langerholtz's bill, which extends the maximum width of farm vehicles allowed on the road, because as farmers get bigger and machinery gets bigger, we need to have wider equipment on the roads. My Senate Bill 478, which establishes the beginning farmer tax credit, which I just learned the House just passed unanimously here a little bit ago, so I want to thank my friends in the House for passing that here today. And Senator Yaw's bill, Senate Bill 634, which creates a Conservation Excellence Program to provide financial and technical assistance for farmers implementing best management practices. And lastly, Senator Judy Ward's Bill 661, which establishes the new programs for ag businesses and Commonwealth Specialty Block Grant Program, which will help our Specialty Block programs, which crops, which include hemp and hops. And today we'll move 5 more bills here through the Senate as part of the Farming First package, and hopefully the governor will sign these bills quickly once we get them on his desk. And I want to thank everyone in the ag community for stepping up and helping. Farm Bureau especially, they were a big supporter in helping give us guidance on some of these bills and everything as well. And it's a great win for Pennsylvania. Usually when we come to doing the budget, agriculture is always sort of kind of begging to get their lines put back in that were cut. This year we didn't have to do that. It was a great day for agriculture. We were able to put a lot of new initiatives in that the governor had, but some new initiatives that we had as well. And so, like I said, and Senator Corman, everybody has said, it's a great day for agriculture in Pennsylvania here to be able to continue to support our number one industry and actually put some money where our mouth is. When we say we want to support them, we're going to support them. So I want to, at this time, not do a milk toast, we're going to do a milkshake toast. So here's to everyone in the legislature and all the farmers and everyone in Pennsylvania, to our number one industry. So congratulations and have a drink. Thank you.